PUC that's with us today?
Yes, we do have two.
Can we get a PUC resource up here? And gentlemen,
Christine, Wright.
if you'll offer up your chair. Thank you, Senator Hancock.
Ms. Wright, if you'd introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, Chairman, Senators. I'm Christine Wright with the Texas PUC, and I'm here as a resource witness to answer any questions you might have.
Well, Christine, Mr. Ramsland has given very professional and I think very compelling testimony. Tell us whether you agree or disagree, or what you might have to say about what he's had to say.
The Commission hasn't taken a position on his specific situation, or what I would respond to that is that we did undertake a very comprehensive study this year. A lot of time looking at all the studies on both sides of this issue.
Did it involve medical experts?
Yes, yes. The studies that the medical experts had put out. And that study is public and it's available for viewing. And our staff expert found that there was no conclusive evidence that this was harmful for consumers to have on their homes.
Mr. Ramsland, have you had an opportunity to look at any of the data that they have gathered when they study this?
I think the point is, when I made my comment about the tobacco industry, I was being utterly serious. We are at that point when there is a tremendous amount of information out there. There is no information out there that says it's safe. The concern, I think, is that this is being rushed. There haven't been environmental impact statements. You have to study these things for long periods of time, and they simply have not been studied. They've been given a complete buy. And yet there's all sorts of people out there, medical experts, etc., who believe that there are grave issues involved. There's a tremendous number of people who seem to have issues of electrosensitivity. And so in an issue like this, it seems to me that the burden of proof shouldn't be to prove that they are not harmful. The burden of proof should be that they are, in fact, safe. And that has not been shown by anyone.
I would just note a couple things. Number one, an announcement was made last week that the Federal Communications Commission is going to be looking at the measurements of radio frequencies. They haven't done that in 10 years, so this will be their first study, and they are the agency federally that provides those measurements. And today, what the FCC shows is that looking at all the different consumer electronics that have already been mentioned, like baby monitors, microwaves, and other things, that smart meters today register, I think, close to the bottom. And in terms of the study and the body of work that has been done, it is comprehensive. There have been scientific research papers published on this for a period of over 90 years, and it's continuing to go on. People are constantly studying, constantly looking at this, so the body of work on this is vast.
When the government completes its latest study, would you be sure our committee is included on anything that's publicized?
Yes, sir.
Senator Watson.
Yeah, I just was going to point out, because of the question that the chairman asked of the resource witness, what I had in front of me was that the report, one of the findings of the report was that I think I'm quoting it exactly, decades of scientific research have not provided any proven or unambiguous biological effects from exposure to low-level radio frequency signals. Further, staff reviewed all available material and found no credible evidence to suggest that smart meters emit harmful amounts of electromagnetic field radiation, or EMF radiation, close quote. And that really does go, to some degree, to the point that is being made when comments get made such as, there hasn't been a period of time that this has been looked at. There have been, in fact, many years and decades of scientific research into the area. The comments that get made that you ought to prove that it's not harmful. Part of the proof, of course, in science is that there's no credible evidence to suggest that it's harmful. That is, in part, a finding in that regard. And the third thing I'd say, just because, and this is very important and we want to get it right, and in getting it right, I think it's important that we look at, we take care that we don't make comparisons that may not actually apply. For example, the use of tobacco. what we know, at least in part about that, was that for years they knew it was they knew it was in fact harmful. They knew it was not such as you have here, where there was years and there's no credible evidence to show it is harmful. They knew it was harmful. They also knew it was addictive, and that's a little bit different than what we're talking about here. So I think as we debate this, we ought to have a healthy debate about it, Mr. Chairman. We ought to have a healthy discussion about it, but we shouldn't engage in comparisons that create alarm and fear when they're not good comparisons. Thank you.
Thank you. And we are going to have to move on. I've got a huge stack of testimonies. Dr. Hawkins, if you would move next. The committee members we're going to be around here for about 50 more days, and so we'll have plenty of time.
48.
But who's counting? But we've got a number of testimonies.
I ain't staying here a day beyond 48.
Yeah, I would ask that each of those wishing to testify that they do be as brief as possible, so that we're not still taking testimony on the 47th day.
Senator, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I would like to maybe resubmit this to the gentleman from
Absolutely. If you've got
Oncor.
anything in
We
writing,
did try to make communication with him, and I just want to, make that known. We didn't just go and take it off. We tried to.
No, that's fine. If you'll submit anything in writing, and that goes for anybody coming later, if you've got anything in writing, if you'd submit and that would help move along testimony, that'd be much appreciated. So, Dr. Hawkins.
Hello, my name is Dr. Michonne Hawkins, and I practice chiropractic in Dallas, Texas. And I have something to say. Your body heals slow, one cell at a time. That's why natural remedies take so long. Drugs merely cover up symptoms, which works quickly and makes you think you're well. The underlying problem never gets addressed. Your body also gets sick slowly, one cell at a time. That is why an interference can take so long to manifest into a full-blown disease. My sister worked for PG&E in California. She developed a sensitivity to EMS, and years later, she died of a brain tumor. They have done research in California, and nobody connected it. And they have done research in California now that is connecting it. And it's like Russian roulette. Some people will be affected by it, some people won't. And it's kind of like smoking. Some people are affected by it, some people are not. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I know you're absolutely right. We do need to be efficient in testimony, but I have to put these questions out, and maybe they will result in fewer or shorter testimonies to go forward. But to Oncor, this gentleman, let's say he contacts you and says, listen, this smart meter, no matter what you say, I can't live with it. I don't want it. Take it out. What are the options? Realistically, what can and can't be done, and why?
Right now, the commission has a workshop going that we're investigating statewide the various options as far as opt-out. There are options there. All options cost. Obviously, the consumers won't be able to get any of the benefits of the smart meters, such as letting us know when their power goes out. None of those benefits would be there. They won't be able to switch retail electric providers, and they won't be able to get the type of data that other customers get. That said, the commission right now is in the middle of an opt-out work to go through the various technical options to solve this problem. And I expect, and all of the utilities, I also represent AECT. The utilities associated with that, we do support the opt-out so long as the customer pays for the uplift of the opt-out.
Okay, but what might, just for my education, what might some of those options be? One is to stick an analog meter back in there. So what problem does that create or not where you all are concerned?
What one is as long as we're still able to buy analog meters, one is to stick an analog meter there. Another is to stick an electronic meter there. Another is to stick a smart meter there with the radio totally disabled and turned off. Those are three of the basic options we have. In every case, a person would need to go to actually read that meter You have two options. You can just read the meter and get the accumulation read on the meter, or you could actually download all the 15-minute data. There's two ways you could do that. And so we're still debating and discussing those various options. In addition to that, you've got back office cost to build systems to handle the few one-offs that these meters would represent. In Oncor's particular case, we've got 3.4 million meters that we've got deployed, and we don't have systems in place. The automated handheld meter reading systems and these things don't exist anymore. So we'll need to either have human workarounds that is very difficult to audit, or we're going to need to build new automated procedures to take these few readings and get them back into systems for billing.
Are we talking about something that could cost tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or perhaps millions?
It's going to be millions to do back office systems. If you're just, if you just had one or two or three customers, you wouldn't build a great big system for it. You would just build processes and have people do auditable type work to get this data in. It is somewhat dependent on the number that do the opt-out, but to do any kind of automated back office type thing, you're going to be in the millions. Now directionally, just directionally for Oncor, it's between $25 and $30 a month just to go read the meter. And it's an upfront cost of around $300 a month to get it set up. Different companies, it would be different costs for different companies right now because they all have different systems that they have in place that they have to modify.
So who would pay for that? I mean,
It's our intention that it's our opinion that the person that wants the opt-out should bear the cost of the additional facilities.
We don't want the people that opt out to have any cost. What would be the result of that?
We just have to go back and look at it. We have looked at this just like we do all other discretionary services that the regulated utility provides. We haven't gone back and calculated if you just spread that cost socially.
That's what you have to do, is just spread it back over.
Just have everybody else pay for everybody's discretionary choice to choose out.
When again do you think the work will be done of this PUC working group?
I believe their next hearing is in mid to late April. Christine, you would have the exact date.
We have a public hearing scheduled for April 19th, and the proposed rule is in the comment period right now.
How well publicized is that proposed, that hearing been? So I mean, how would the public know to be there?
Well, we follow the APA guidelines, so it's the notice of the workshop of the hearing was published in the Texas Register along with the rule, and then we're having an additional notice that's going to go out this week and is filed in the project. The commission also set up a separate email listserv, and we allow people to sign up for that, so we're going to blast it through there. And then staff, along with me, have been working with the various community representatives, and we'll let them know that this is occurring.
So say it again for me, when the meeting and where the meeting will be.
The meeting will be held on April 19th at the PUC offices, which is in, would you like me to give the address? It's the William B. Travis building, and it's on the corner of 17th and Congress.
Here at the Capitol Complex.
Yeah, in the Capitol Complex, and you would come to the 7th floor.
What time?
Starts at 11 a.m. And that was at the request of some of the parties.
And how do they go about getting on the email registry to be able to get these email updates you mentioned just moments ago?
That will be in our notice that we file this week. They would just contact me or the attorney or one of the staff, and we'll add them to the email. It's a very easy thing to do.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank y'all for your testimonies. And again, if you do have anything in writing, if you'll make sure that with the clerk, y'all don't go far, just in case. Thank you. Next, we have coming forward